Is that the electric lawnmower? How you doing, boss? Man, that is fancy. Wow. Mind if I take a video of it? Sure. Wow. It's actually doing a pretty good job. How long does the battery last for?
An hour and a half, 2 hours.
Wow.
Depending, if you're using the high speed version.
Wow, I am impressed, man.
The lazy man's tough. I tell you.
What's going on, folks? Eddie Carrington, mayor of Flux City, just leaving a site, trimming down some trees that needed to be trimmed. There were only 3 trees that I needed to have work done on, and I got a couple of quotes. One quote came in at $350, another quote came in at $500, and I'm like, man, really? We're just talking about trimming some dead branches off of 3 very, very small trees, right? In most cases, you didn't even need a ladder. You could have, for the most part, walked up to the tree, used, some hand snips, and within an hour you would have been done. The lowest quote being $350, which is understandable. I ultimately decided to do it myself. It took me an hour, and that was because I was doing 3 things at once, right? It technically should have only taken me about a half an hour worth of work, but as a landlord, when you're on site, you always find yourself doing more, right? You notice something that needs to be tended to, like maybe there's some garbage that you need to go pick up, or maybe there's a conversation that you're having with a tenant with regard to potential feedback, and just having conversation about how they are, right, in general, right? Issues they may have in one format or another. And so there are a number of things that slowed me down within that 1 hour time frame, but ultimately it took me an hour, and folks were asking $350 to $500 for that work. Now, you do have to dispose of the branches that you ultimately cut, which I currently have in the back of my truck, and that also is incorporated in these quotes that I got. But at the same time, I just decided to do it myself. I do have a property management arm to my real estate company, right? And it's not necessarily meant for me to manage other properties, because in order to do so, from my understanding and from my research, you have to be licensed or certified to be able to do so. But you are able to manage your own sites. And so that's what I consider this as me being able to do, right? Whether it be snow removal or trimming the trees, or landscaping. Luckily, I do have an organization that I work with, and they do a really good job cutting grass. But as you saw earlier in the video, there may be an opportunity for me to buy a robotic lawnmower and cut the grass myself. Hey, maybe even off site. That was insane, man. I can't believe how technology has gotten us to a point where you have this little machine that can fit in your seat, right? And this thing, can cut your grass, right? This thing is portable, rechargeable. It's not, needing gas or anything like that. But technology is really cool to see in that format, where you would think that there's no way you'd be able to have a robot cut your grass. But as you can see, I guess we're living in the future. But I would love to hear from my landlords, right? Help me understand what it takes for you to decide, hey, look, I'm just gonna do it myself. Is it the price point? Is it the amount of hours that it may take for you to accomplish whatever issue it may be, the level of difficulty? Is it the distance from where you live in comparison to where your asset is? If you had trees to trim and you knew it would take you about an hour, but you also had to mobilize, right? You had to leave your place of work or home, and you had to bring your own tools, You had to mobilize a ladder. You had to remove and dispose of the branches that you've trimmed from the trees, right? Is $350 worth it? I do want to add an extra caveat to it. Today is probably one of the hottest days of the year up to this point. So while I was doing this work, I was sweating my ass off. But at the same time, I saved $350. How you doing, boss?
Good, how are you?
Good. Yes, ma'am. Let's go. Okay. There you go.
You can take us to the fourth dumpster where he at.
Okay. Thank you, boss.
You're welcome.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Quick and easy. In and out. Nice and hot today. But now I'm headed home to my air conditionless house. And I'm calling it a day. I'm not necessarily done yet. I still have a number of things I would like to accomplish before the sun sets, but as a person with 2 young sons, I don't necessarily know if I'm gonna be successful at accomplishing too much, as we're getting to the power hour, which I would say is about between 4 and 9:30. If you got, toddlers and newborns, you understand. But I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for chiming in.